So people, how's everybody doing today? Let's see if we can figure this shit out today. Put this on mute over here. And we got the live chat up. All right. It's my first time doing a live stream over here on this StreamYards, I think it is. So let's see if we get anybody in here. I need to know if how the sound is, all that other kind of good stuff. Tell me, got anybody in here? Who do we get? We got Edwin. How you doing, Edwin? How's the sound? Can you hear me? Miss Karen, how you doing? Can you hear me, Miss Karen? How's the sound on this thing? You turn down the music. We've got some people in here. Drop me a comment. All right, so here's what we're gonna get doing here is I watch a lot of police videos. And the biggest thing as a private investigator, which I am, who's had 30 years dealing with law enforcement. Thanks for dropping in, guys. Appreciate you. The biggest problem I see is this complaint process and how people follow through and do all that kind of stuff. So this is a video I've been wanting to do for a while. It's a video that inspired the noidforyou.com website that I have. And, so let's get into it. What we're going to do here is we're going to play the video. I got the video all queued up. Really don't have it planned here, folks, but I got the video queued up. This is the original video that from when I got assaulted by Officer Borovac. And then this is the complaint that I filed regarding Officer Borovac. And this is the website where you can get the laws that I use in this video against Officer Borovac. So that's what we got going on. So that's the plan for this video. So let me check in. Let's see what we got. Tapatios, my man, my brother. Love you. Edwin, all right, you guys. Okay. So what we're going to talk about is this complaint. And let's get into it. I feel really weird sitting in my garage, by the way, talking to myself. It's not normal. I know we've done it a couple of times, but it's never the same. I'm not as smooth as Tapatios, my man, but we'll give it a shot. So you get assaulted by a cop. You have an issue with a cop side of the road, right? It just goes sideways and you want to file a complaint. How do you do that? What's the process, right? We all see it in the videos. I want to talk to your supervisor, and the supervisor comes and we do, the field complaint with the supervisor. And where I think a lot of people go wrong is they don't do the follow through on it. And when they do the follow through, they don't do the preparation for the complaint. And like I said, I'm a private investigator for 30 years. I have a lot of experience dealing with law enforcement. I have experience writing criminal reports to have people prosecuted. I've done some pretty big cases. Let's see. The biggest one I did is when we shut down some card guys. We worked with the FBI, the Secret Service, the Post Office, the IRS, and the Treasury. We worked with law enforcement in Arizona, Oklahoma, and Georgia. So I have experience dealing with law enforcement is what I'm trying to tell you. So when you file a complaint, you want it to be effective. You got to make their job easy. Now, what do I mean about make their job easy? These people just pissed you off. Maybe they put you in jail. They took a bunch of money from you and a ticket. And now you're asking me to make their job easy? What are you talking about? Look, government doesn't like the work. You have to tell them exactly what to do. And you got to put it in front of them. Otherwise, you give them an excuse. And it's like when my kids started driving, one of the things I told them, I taught them the law, 2015-95 in Arizona, and I gave them a copy of it to keep in their car, because why aren't you, as a parent, teaching your kids about the law, not just how to avoid accidents? That's your responsibility, mom and dad. Teach your kids the law, what their responsibilities are, and what their legal requirements are when they get pulled over. So I lost track. We got any new people in here while I gather my thoughts? Doesn't look like it. Just my awesome people, Karen and Tapatios. But you got to make government's job easy for them, and you can't give them a reason. That's what I was saying. It's like when you're driving, you got to make sure all your lights are working, make sure you have your license on you, your registration, your proof of insurance. Make sure you use your blinkers. Don't give the cops a reason to pull you over in the first place, right? It's the last thing you want. But when you do, you want to know your laws, all right? So this is where No ID for You comes in, and let's just check it out. So for in Arizona, you go over to No ID for You. You can download this to your phone, to your computer. I keep it on my phone. I keep it on my computer. I keep a copy of 2015-95. I keep it on my sun visor. It's literally strapped or glued to my sun visor. So I just flip out the law to the cop and say, read the law. It's right there. I don't argue the law with the cops. You guys have to know the law. So go to No ID. If you live in Arizona or California, you got the top 10. And this is where, because I'd done this. I printed these out for myself, thinking I'd never use them. I just watched a bunch of videos, and I always thought, why do people argue? The driver is saying that's not the law, and then the cop saying that is the law. Well, nobody ever whipped out the law and said, here's the law. So I printed them out and I kept it with me and came in handy on this day. So that's noidforyou.com. You can go download that. It's no charge. You don't have to put in an email or nothing. Just download it. It's free. I'm trying to share information. That's what I like to do. So, all right. So I get assaulted by Officer Borovac, and I filed the complaint. We're not going to watch the original video that I uploaded that we're going to watch some snippets of is 40 minutes long. And it was about 2 years ago, and I sucked at editing videos. Editing sucks, people. If you've never edited a video, it sucks. It's special, people. All right, let's see if we got any questions here before we get into the meat of this. Karen, you're awesome. You're like one of the best mods ever. I hope you're feeling better, by the way, Karen. All right. Who we got? Oh, Sean Little. Thank you, Sean. Thanks for dropping in. Hopefully you get something out of this video. All right. So we're not going to watch the whole video. Why? Because my editing sucks. But this is the video that I posted shortly after I got assaulted. Short scenario is my son got in a car accident, blocks away from the house. It was a bad accident. He calls me, the dad. I show up to help my son. Now, here's the thing. I've got a hidden video, I have an app on my phone, right? And I can press a button on my phone and the camera starts working and it activates, but I can still use my phone. So what you're watching is me in the beginning of the video. I'm literally like this on the phone with the insurance company trying to get a tow truck, but my camera is activated because I'm not there to necessarily record the cops. I'm there to document the scene for my son's accident. I have no idea what happened, and I want to make sure that it gets documented, but I don't want to be doing this to somebody who just got in an accident. So I activated the app, and it caught the assault. I always record the police. So I did the best I could to edit it. Lackluster, did a great job. Disorderly Product News covered it. Rest in peace, brother. He was actually the first. He covered it. So Officer Borovac got almost 1 million views. He may be at 1 million views. Last I saw, he was coming up close to 900. But we're going to go off the complaint to watch the video. because I did make the roadside complaint, right? Did that just like we always see. That's in the video. But then I followed it up with a written complaint, and it took me a couple of days to prepare it. I didn't just go down there, let them hand me a form and fill it and have them stand over me as I write it out, you know, with them watching me. Prepare your complaint at home. Do it at home. Have it ready to go when you walk in. You can make another verbal complaint with whoever you speak with, but you're going to hand them your copy of the complaint, and it's going to have everything that they need in order to go forward, right? What happened as a result of mine in the long run, Officer Borovac, his own department, found him his actions so egregious that they referred charges for assaulting me, right? But then the same department also found he did nothing wrong administratively as far as policy is concerned. Blow my mind. But I tried to make it as easy so we're going to go off this. We're going to go back to the video and see how it works out, right? So lay it out like a court document, right? You want to give a background, a foundation. You want to list a statement of facts, and then you want to ask for what your prayer of relief, as they call it in court. But you want to ask for what you want to ask for. What are you asking for? Why are you complaining? So let's get into it. So page 1 of 16. Probably won't go through all 16 pages. We'd be here for a while. We got any new people popping in? Ex-bootlicker, brother. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. So, all right. So this is regarding Officer Borovac, right? This is the incident number related to my son's accident, right? So they can look it up. I didn't just say I'm coming in to complain about Officer Borovac. When did it happen? It happened on September 2nd. At what time, right? And the location. So now they can look it up by Borovac. They can look it up by the incident number, date, time, everything. No excuse not to find all the documentation relative to what I'm about to present to them, right? So here's the background, right? I want to lay a foundation, give them a kind of a totality of the circumstances without emotion of the events that I'm going to describe in detail below, supported by their own policy and state law. It's going to be badass. You watch this. Let's see how this works out. Good, ex-licker. I'm glad you're doing good, brother. So, all right. So here's the background and context. On 9/21, or 9/2/21 at approximately 15:30 hours, I received a frantic phone call from my son. He was in tears, hysterical, and said it was in an accident and it was bad. I immediately ran to my vehicle. Upon my arrival, I see 2 cars involved, no emergency vehicles, and a small crowd. After consoling my son and checking on the other driver, I began to make phone calls to the insurance company to get a tow truck driver for the vehicle. So basic foundation, right? What's the scene? Not a big deal, right? We don't have people fighting. We don't have blood squirting out arteries. No, we got a traffic accident. Everybody's good. Another 5 minutes or so passes by before Officer Borovac arrives. I'm literally on the phone with the insurance company. Officer Borovac appears to be cordial, which he was. He walked over to the other driver, started asking them questions, and then stuff happens. Officer Borovac was cordial, advises me that he will get to us in a bit. I had no problem with that, I had no problem with it. And it was, I thought, to be a fairly pleasant exchange given the situation. I had no further contact with Officer Borovac for about 5 minutes. Now, I'm a private investigator for over 30 years. While I specialize in surveillance, I'm a trained interrogator as well as body language. Based on my 30 years of experience, it is my nature to record, especially in type of the situation. While I was on the phone with the insurance company, I was also utilizing my phone's camera to record. I do not believe Officer Borovac had any knowledge that I was personally recording, nor was it my intention to record the cops. You know, they always like to throw that at us, right? It was just to document the scene and possible statements of witnesses or the other driver. I mean, this was a serious accident my son was involved in. That said, I'm grateful that I had my camera rolling. So basically what I've laid out, right, is I've laid out that basic traffic accident, my son's first accident. I had a hidden camera recording. I'm a private investigator. You know, I'm not an agitator or anything like that. But I'm basically laying out the basic facts of what happened and what my intent was. All right, now we're going to get into it. Here's the fun part. We're going to get into the video and everything. Hey, JC News Now, what's up, brother? Man, God bless you. I'm gonna try and mirror a video about you. I haven't figured out which one, but man, you got some shit going on up there. Who else we got in here? Angry Vet, what's up? Dude, I got some of my favorites in here. This is awesome. All right, let's get on with it. So what have we done here? We've given them the time and location. No excuse that they can't find it, right? We've given them just basic background on what the context of the situation was. And at this point, there's not a whole lot bad happening, right? So let's get into it. So 0 to 0:44 in the time. Okay, so there's some fast forwarding, about 7-8 videos. I try to get a tow truck on the phone. All right, so there's nothing for IA to review 0 to 44 seconds. Again, this is about making their job easy, right? So we are going to say, okay, I got this video posted to YouTube or wherever I got it posted, or maybe it's on a thumb drive, but you don't still want to say, Officer Borovac was an asshole and he pushed me. I want you to investigate it. Nothing's going to happen with that complaint. Nothing. They're going to defend their officer and it's going to go away, right? But my son, who cares? Nothing. But you make it easy for them out of a 40-minute video that they can just go boom, 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 like we're about to do, and you've got it supported. It really makes it difficult for them to back out of it. All right. So we're not even going to pay attention to the first 44 seconds of the video. Okay. At 50 seconds, Officer Borovac initiates contact with me. 12 seconds into contact, Officer Borovac has approached me, told me to calm down, even though video shows that I was not rude. I never moved or made any movements towards Officer Borovac, and I never raised my voice to him. In fact, moments later, I thanked him and told him I appreciate his calling a tow truck, but I'm on with the tow truck company right now, right? All right, let's go over to the video. We're going to go right to 50 seconds. See what happens. All right, we'll go to 48. Let me know if you guys can hear this. All right. So how far there we get? So we got a little over there. 18 seconds into contact, Officer Borovac has made unlawful order to move back, even though he approached me from over 30 feet. After I observed Officer Borovac's verbal and nonverbal communication demonstrating immediate escalation. Now, I can qualify this statement right here. I observed verbal and nonverbal communication. I literally do have body language. I've trained with it for interrogation and things like that. So I know some basic skills, beyond average. We'll just put it that way. I'm no super body language expert, but my kids know. Immediately, I told him sternly and calmly, you will address me with respect to the citizen you serve, right? My son has just been in an accident, which Officer Borovac interrupted. You will calm down and back up 3 feet. He said that 4 times in 6 seconds. When did I have a chance to comply with anything? right? And we're going to add pictures, right? This came from the video. We're going to add pictures into our complaint, people. This is very important because you want to give a visual representation. It's really boring to sit and read a bunch of words, right? But now we're going to give them some excitement, some visual stimulation, you know. I can see no other reason for Officer Borovac for the demand other than to flex his authority and ego. Officer Borovac approached me. Officer Borovac escalated the circumstances in which Officer Borovac was dealing with a very emotional 17-year-old who has just been his first big accident and his concerned father. And within 21 seconds of contact, he placed hands on me. The father, with no provocation for physical contact by Officer Borovac. Again, providing more context, right? Yeah, he just came up and put his hands on me after I told him to treat me with the respect of the citizen he serves. Sure. Was I a little cocky? Sure. But, I mean, come on, right here. This is it. Totality of circumstances. 1 minute and 11 seconds. So we're pretty far into this already, right? 21 seconds into contact, Officer Borovac refuses after I refuse his unlawful order to back up, Officer Borovac assaults. I reference the statute. Guys, you got to do that. You can't give him an out, right? He assaulted me. What's the definition of assault? Do you meet the requirements? You know, but this doesn't give, you know, we're assisting in building our case, right? They have to look at this now. It's right there. Officer Borovac assaulted me on video by pushing me forcibly in my chest, causing me to stumble in order to keep my balance, which meets the statutory authority for ARS. Look, right there, section. So let's go down. So we got pictures of the actual assault, right? Oh, look. There's the law right in front of them. 2, intentionally placing hands on another person in reasonable apprehension of immediate physical injury, or knowingly touch a person with the intent to injure, insult, or provoke such person, right? Or placing another person in reasonable apprehension of physical injury. He met both of those, and I just spelled it out for him, right? Now, it's been 2 years since I've done this, and what I'm going to throw in and I recommend is you can go over on the YouTube, you can right-click, copy the link at the current time, right? Let's go back into our complaint, right-click, and put a link right to that, right? Oh, we got pictures and a link right to where I don't even have to go search the video now. Again, make government's job easy to fuck government. All right, let's check in on the chat. Who we got? Got Al SoCal. What's up, brother? Westside Accountability. How you doing? Got all good people in here, man. Autotron. Whoop, whoop. I wish I could show you my shop dog. Juanita's in here. She's having a blast. She's destroying a Chewy right now. All right. Officer Borovac, 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Okay. So we passed the assault. Now we're moving on. 2 minutes and 59 seconds. That's where we got to find in the video. Let's go here. Whoa. All right. Right about here. We'll go here. And play. All right, there we go. So what happened there? Officer Borovac begins to question my son, to which I advise my son, don't answer questions. Officer Borovac tells me my son, by law, has to answer his questions. Right. This guy had over 20 years experience, people. Oh, God. to which he does not have to participate in your investigation. The Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and not answer questions to law enforcement is clearly established both by state statute and see, guys, I listed, given the state statute, ARS 132412 and ARS 2859 or 281595, as well as federal case. Miranda, which, damn it, was right here in Arizona. An officer with over 20 years experience should know this basic constitutional right. Further, these state statutes, he, as a motor officer, uses every day in the course of his duties, law which he clearly demonstrated a severe limited knowledge of or a complete disregard for, or is lying to my minor son. Boxed him in, right? He either doesn't know it or he's lying to a minor. My son met his legal obligation once he exhibited, because that's the way the statute is written, right? In Section B. Here, let's go over here. Section B. Who fails or refuses to exhibit, right? So there we go. It's in the statute. His license is read. Further, he exceeded his legal obligation by surrendering his documents to Officer Borovac. No citizen, let alone a minor, has any legal obligation to law enforcement in this type of situation beyond provided what is expected under Arizona Revised Statute 281595, period, full stop. Officer Borovac will continue to question my son during the rest of the interaction, despite my clearly expressed constitutional objections. Right? So again, we're laying out a totality of the situation, right? He either lied to my son or he doesn't know it. It's just the way it is. There's no way out of it. 311, I think we're past 311, aren't we? Yes, we're about 324. Officer Borovac, by law, does not have to participate in his investigation, and demanding a sergeant. Officer Borovac again demonstrates both verbal and nonverbal intimidation, escalation steps toward and intimidation by stepping towards me and demanding I step back. I did not move and advised Officer Borovac that the driver is my minor son and I will decide if and when he answers questions. Officer Borovac begins to raise his voice and yell, at first continuing my son to demanding my son to answer questions. Then, out after conceding to his unlawful demands, he steps towards me and yells at me to step back and advises me that I am obstructing. We're getting into the good stuff here, people. You know that? This is going to get fun. How's that chat going over there? Is that PDF in there? What's up there, PDF? How them dogs? Can I pet that dog? If you guys haven't seen the video of that kid, can I pet that dog? That's freaking hilarious. Go look it up. Can I pet that dog? DAWG. Don't do it now. After we're done here, go look at that kid. She's trying to pet a bear. She thinks it's a dog. It appeared to me that he was using intimidation through escalation in an attempt to get me separated so he could question my son outside my presence, despite my clear objections. Yeah, see his hand right up in here. All right. This is where we're going to have some fun. All right. We're going to go to 342. Officer Borovac now advises me that I'm disobeying a police officer. What law is that? Right? When an investigation is to which I replied, government investigations or criminal investigations. See, one of these things that by having the laws with me all the time, when I'm watching these videos, I go back and I like to read the law. And it's just become so ingrained in my memory that I just actually go, nope, they can't do that because it's, 132409, 132412. Encourage you to do the same thing. Get your print out of your laws when you're watching these videos for your state. Print them out for your state, and wherever you're watching your video, when the cops starting to ask for ID, read your requirements for your state. It'll become memory to you. I promise you. So, but I don't argue the law with cops off memory. I read it to them. Officer Borovac advises me that I'm disobeying orders of a police officer. I retrieved my printed copy of ARS 132409, right? Obstructing a criminal investigation that I keep in my vehicle. Clearly states I was not in violation of 2409. Let's go take a look, shall we? Here, we'll just let it go. Tell him how to do his job. Love it. All right, so we're going to speed up here a little bit. Here we go. There it is, people. Right. So here are the elements: bribery, misrepresentation, intimidation, or force or threats of force. That's the elements of obstruction in Arizona. Right. I didn't do any of those things. Right. Using or threatening to use force, violence, that's government operations. None of that. Right. So they can't argue it when you read it to them. Right. So yeah, so then we dropped in the law. There we go. All right, so we're gonna do, during the conversation, Officer Borovac tells me 2 times to back up. This pointed out inconsistencies in his statement, a lack of ability to remember details when under pressure. In actuality, Officer Borovac requested me to move back 4 times unlawfully within 6 seconds during our initial investigation. Dude, I had this guy so tongue 611. We're gonna go through the 638. Officer Borovac tells me again, I am obstructing with the actual written copy of 1324.9 in my hand. I asked him if you want me to point out where you're wrong. Officer Borovac, I just read you the law. Officer Borovac never read me the law or even referenced the criminal code or statute to back up his demands. He literally just made it up that he read me the law. So let's go to 611, shall we? It's my boy. My boy, I'm a Papa Bear. I protect my man, my boy. Family, right? All right, here we go. How you guys like it? Let's check in with the chat. Tapatios, my man. He's still in here. Thanks for hanging out, man. Hope you guys are going to get something out of this. Even if you get one little thing out of this, I hope you get it. But that's okay. I'm having a good time. Got a beverage. Got some good people. You people are all over the place. I got you like on 3 screens right now. All right. Break time's over. At 10:13, Sergeant Garcia arrives on scene. As Sergeant Garcia is parking, I request from Officer Borovac his name and badge number for the first time. He just points and says, "There's your sergeant," to which I replied, "You're not going to identify per policy, Chapter 3, Section 2.4. I received no response. Did I put a policy in there yet? Nope. But yeah, But I got the policy in there, I promise you. So let's go to 1013. Again, this is about making government's job easy. I had that written down too, by the way, in my little bag of tricks. 1036. Sergeant Garcia initiates me nothing but professional. Kudos, commendations. Yeah, he was a good guy. He didn't escalate at all. You know, he did his job. You know, I think he was blowing a lot of sunshine up my ass in retrospect. But, you know, he wasn't an asshole. And isn't that really all we're asking? Look, honor your oath. Don't be a dick. I mean, it's not hard. 2130. While Sergeant Garcia and I are conversing, Officer Borovac approaches to hand Sergeant Garcia a copy of the citation. At this time, on the immediate presence of Sergeant Garcia, I again ask Officer Borovac for a business card with his name and badge number. I again quote the chapter and section of the Phoenix PD Police Department policy, and that requires him to do so. He will not provide it. Now, why you may be asking, why am I inserting all of these very specific times? Because they go to policy violations, if not the criminal violation. We want to, you know how the cops like to stack charges. Oh, you were speeding, you didn't have your seatbelt, your muffler's too loud, and we don't like the color of your shorts charge. You know how they stack the charges? That's what we're trying to do here. So by waiting a couple days before we went in to file the complaint, we were able to do our research to identify each and every policy violation he did. So each one of these timestamps basically represents a policy violation. That's why we're in here for this. All right. This was done to demonstrate that Officer Borovac's ego has gotten him to the point that Officer Borovac will not even follow policy in front of a sergeant, even when the policy is quoted to him chapter and verse. This is not only a very poor reflection of his attitude towards the public he serves, but also demonstrates a severe disrespect for the sergeant. Ooh, ouch. Yeah. Don't disrespect the blue line. You shouldn't be doing that. By putting him in a situation that, and finally, certainly does not help Phoenix PD in building relationships with the community. So at 2130, let's go check that out right quick. Boom. It's funny how all the spikes are there, right? I wonder who is viewing that, you know. There he comes. Here comes our boy. You like my son's shirt? All right, there we go. So we got it, right? During the conversation, I recorded Officer Borovac make inaccurate statements of fact. He told me to back up 2 times and that I leaned in towards him. In actuality, he told me 4 times in 6 seconds before he went hands on. After walking, as I found out later, it was 30 feet towards me. I never leaned in. All right. So we got him basically making, because I had to enhance the volume on that, but I was able to figure out what he was saying. And yeah, I got him in factual statement, factual inaccuracies immediately after the deal. So that's important because it goes to affect his memory. Officer Borovac makes these factually inaccurate statements. They are, in my opinion, some interesting body language demonstrated by Officer Borovac. Indicators, as I am, who is trained in interrogation about it, you'll be interpreted as deception at some level, and his overall demeanor shifted after this interaction. All right, here we go. We're almost done here, people. What was the timestamp on that? 26:18. This is beautiful. This is what they call the moment. You know what is it? The moment they realize they fucked up. There we go. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah, he's got the whole, Sergeant Garcia just going right now. Yeah, he's got the whole thing on video. Let's see it again. Let's role play again. He was an asshole. He came over to me. Hey, you know he's got the whole thing on video, right? On his own camera. Oh. Oh, crap. I didn't want to do that. Let's go back. Sorry, people. I was doing so good. All right. We're getting done. All right. So this is where we're done, right? We're done with the video part. So we're going to go through that part. But I got to play this for you because this really is my favorite part of the video. I think I kind of, let me know in the comments. All right. You guys ready? Let me know in the comments. I want an honest opinion. Tell me you're full of shit, or yeah, I think you kind of do. But when I played this back and I was listening to it, I thought it sounded just like James Freeman. I think I was like, what do they call it? Possessed with the Freeman people. Here we go. Let me know. 4009. Here we go. I didn't want to tow my car to Mexico. Wait for it. Oh, I think I sounded just like James Freeman there. So, all right, there we go, people. That was it. Here we got Autotron. No, well, I understand tort law, Autotron. Well, I have a very basic understanding of tort law, but not for other states. So I'm not quite sure what you're referring to there. So, all right, folks. Well, that was the video portion of our game. So now we're going to get into the allegations, right? So we laid out the basic context. We gave them the information to find all the case, the background, We tried to make it easy for them to go through the video. As you can see from all the spikes right at where we went, they did do that. And so here we go. So let's get into my allegations. Allegation 1, violation of Phoenix PD operations. See, we didn't just go in and say Officer Borovac was an asshole because he assaulted me, right? And he was rude to my minor son. No, you have to give it to him. You have to say, here's your case, detective, and do that in order for them to really take it and run with it. You got to put it in front of them and use their words against them, right? So our operations order 1.1, failure to honor his oath. Officer Borovac has 20 years experience and either demonstrated a complete lack of knowledge of the Fifth Amendment right and the right to remain silent, as well as Arizona statutes 28-15-95, 13-24-12, 13-24-04, and 13-24-09, or he willingly and knowingly ignored his oath. And look, I just put it right here. Just screenshot right from the PD policy. Oh, by the way, you can go over to no ID. Let's go home. And, departments by state. You can go look Arizona. I've put some stuff in here. And Phoenix. Boom. You want to know Phoenix PD's department policies? Go to noidforyou.com. So back here. So yeah, screenshot, entered. Allegation number 2, operations order 1.2, Officer Borovac deviated from policy 2.4 when he refused to identify himself during the interaction, even when quoted policy and blah, blah, blah. And look, there's the policy. Screenshot it from their operations manual. Violation 3, Operation Borovac violated 2.4 when he failed to identify in 2.0 and did not provide it when the contact ended. Gave it to my son because the way the policy reads is after the contact ends. They don't have to give it to you right away, but after the contact ends, if I'm going by that specific policy that I'm quoting. So yeah, he gave it to my son in the ticket, but I never got it. And that was actually done in Sergeant Garcia's presence. So there's the policy. 1.5. Officer Borovac did not implement any de-escalation tactics, techniques, and immediately initiated escalation in the use of force, resulting in officer committing assault against me without provocation. See the statute. There is no exception in the statute. And that's important to remember, people. There's no exception in the statute for a police officer. When you're reading the statute, like in Title 28, which is our vehicle code, there are exceptions in the statute for police officers to drive fast and do stupid shit when they're heading to a call, right? There's exceptions in the statute. There is no exception in the statute of assault for a police officer. Think about it like for trespassing. Same thing. There's no exception in the law for an officer to be trespassing unless he's beyond a consensual consent, right? So, I mean, a little technical. Not going to get into it. Another video. Okay, but he deviated from policy and he assaulted. So, escalation deal, and we did the policy again. Or the state statute. So we did the policy and state statute. Drop that shit everywhere in your complaint, right? Expectation. So, I had 4 allegations. Basically, all that was to support 4 allegations, okay? And we did it pretty well, I thought, because the outcome ended up pretty good. So the expectation. It is my expectation that it is investigated, be fully investigated to include, but not limited to, again, lay the expectation out for them. Don't give them an out, right? Oh, we didn't review reports. Oh, we didn't review your video. We only reviewed the body one. No, this is the expectation, right? And per policy, all this shit's in their policies, right? for the PNX 13319. It has to be done in 7 days, and it has to be completed within 30 days, right? Boom, drop it in their lap. My request that Officer Borovac receive the following discipline as outlined. So we can all go, oh, I want him fired. Oh, I want, he should lose his job. Probably right? Probably right. And in the end, Officer Borovac's not an officer, but it wasn't because he got charged, right? It's because he took his retirement and ran because he was afraid of what was going to happen, right? So you don't always get justice through the system. So sometimes it's going to come one view at a time, right? But you have to build the biggest and best case you can against them, because they're going to do exactly that against you. So it is my expectation the incident be fully investigated to include, but not limited to, a review of the body-worn cameras, review of my video, and interview with Sergeant Garcia to be started within 7 days, completed within 30. It is my request that Officer Borovac receive the policy written reprimand to be placed in his 13.8, right? You give it to him. Class 2 violation. H. Let's go. What's H? Acts adversely affecting department operations or involve egregious unprofessional behavior will be referred to the police chief or disciplinary review board. Listed in addendum A of this order, possible discipline, 24 to 40 hours suspension and demotion. Right? It's outlined right there, and I supported it all up there. Officer Borovac demonstrated a complete disregard of Arizona policy, law, Constitution, as outlined above. Further, he committed a crime of assault against a citizen, without any provocation or lawful justification, just because the citizen questions his authority. Finally, Officer Borovac demonstrated a clear lack of knowledge of the Fifth Amendment, United States Constitution, Arizona laws, and ability to calmly handle certain situations without escalations, as demonstrated in this egregious and unprofessional behavior, right? You got to put them in a box, people. During my 17-year-old son's interaction with Officer Borovac that was captured on video. And there you go. Boom. All right, folks. That's it. That's all I got for you. Thanks for hanging out. How long do we do this for? I don't even know. I don't know how to tell on the live stream. Let's go over here. Shit, we've been at it for a while. All right, let's see what we got going in the chat. Let me go over here to the chat. Sorry, I'm not looking over here. Well, you know what? I can do that. I think I can do that and still be happy. All right, let's do this. That way I can kind of look at you. Let's go see if I missed anybody. Far lap moves. Good day, sir. Hebrew Hammer. What's up there, bud? West Side. Mr. Downey. How you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you. I don't know how long you've been here, but you're going to have to go watch. I just did a whole video on how to file complaints against cops. It's pretty fun. Hey, let me know if you guys got something out of it. Drop me a comment. I might chop this up a little bit and make an actual video out of it, shorten it down a little bit. So drop it down. Tell me what parts on the bottom you don't want me to keep. Tell me what parts you like. Keep it up. All right, that's all I got. So for any law enforcement I got out there watching, wink, wink, you know who you are. Remember, the rules are simple. Honor your oath. Don't be a dick. Now, for you non-government people, the rules are simple. Be good humans. Don't be a dick. Have a great day, everybody. All right, now I got to figure out how to end this thing. Peace out.